DJ and graffiti had grown. B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game, but a six emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight. Visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite. From the pages to the beats, a seamless blend. The sixth element, where two worlds transcend. Welcome to the sixth element show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guiding the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the sixth element show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
We be bopping. We be bopping. We be bopping. Yeah. What up, y'all? Sixth element of hip-hop. Sixth element collectible. Sixth element. What you want to do? Corey Adger in the building. Slade Wilson, salute. Much respect. Stu Dog, what up?
What up? What up? What up?
Yeah. We got a show tonight. So we let Stu Dog choose the topic tonight, and he picked. We got some inside news about the true identity of the villain in the Superman movie ahead of the movie. So y'all might remember the big, what do you call it? Hulkbuster armor. Yeah, the Bavarian.
The Bavarian, whatever. Tornado, whatever they call it.
Yeah. The gold armored Avenger of Baravia. That's what it is. There you go. The gold armored Avenger of Baravia. Looking like a big Hulkbuster. And everybody wondered who, of course, was in the suit. And, we all have speculations and theories, but it's pretty much been revealed accidentally by a toy yet again. It's funny. It's almost like, are you doing this on purpose? Because there's the toys have like blown so much shit, and with this movie alone, like, it's funny how
that's true. That's why we need to talk about it.
Yeah,
the toys leak everything. Yeah, the toys leak everything, bro.
Yeah, they leak it,
and they leak it. I really think they should wait and put those toys out maybe the week of the movie or that Friday, something. I don't know, because if it's gonna be like this, it's definitely gonna, give us more insight. And today, you know how people are now, they got to know it all, so they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and you gotta, and I mean, I seem to remember, at least. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I was just a little kid, who knows? But I feel like I remember as a kid, the toys would come out after the movie came out.
That's true.
But maybe not. Maybe the toys came out before to like stir up whatever anticipation for the movie. But
I think it depends on the deal and the toy, because I remember when He-Man came out, the toy came out before the cartoon.
Right.
And I remember when I think it was either Return of the Jedi or Empire. It was Empire Strikes Back. None of the toys came out until the movie came out, or they came out a little bit after the movie. But I remember that they didn't come out before the movie, because I think back then they were more concerned with, you got to see the movie, then it makes sense, then you go buy the toys or whatever. Like,
right,
the movie was the
movie
was
sells
the
the toys. Right.
It sold the toys. Right. So I don't remember getting a lot of toys before the movie.
Thank you.
I really just don't.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Why are you putting out toys before the movie? It's the movie that sells the fucking toys. Why would anyone go buy? They see this shit on the shelf. Why would I go buy this if I don't know shit about it? But to be fair, I mean, in this day and age with the internet and so much information, and trailers and teasers and clips and footage and all this shit, it's like people already almost know about all these characters way before the movie and are ready to buy these toys. Like, Guy Gardner.
Perfect example. I give you a perfect example. Remember Rogue One came out. There's a guy I work with, diehard Star Wars fan, even more than us. Like we're like Darth Vader. He like the damn emperor of like Star Wars fans. He came up to me one day and he was like, "Yo, I've been looking at the toy line for the Black Series," and he was like naming people like director Krennic. We didn't know. They didn't even show Krennic in the damn trailer for Rogue One. They never showed Krennic. Yeah. And he was like, there's a new character. His name is Director. And he did something. He looked it up and found out who Krennic was. And
Yeah.
I was like, yo, how'd you figure all this? He said, man, I was on the internet like all day until I figured it out. And he showed, and literally when we got in the parking lot, he showed me a picture on his phone of the action figure and Krennic. And then he was another one that said that they were gonna do what's his Morph whatever the guy that
Moff
was the
Gideon? Moff Tarkin?
not Morph Gideon, Marth Tarkin.
Tarkin. Okay.
Grand Marth Tarkin. Grand
Yeah,
Marth
Grand Moff.
Tarkin. Because I asked him, I was like, well, what's the difference between, because he was like, you could be a Marth or a Grand Marth. And he was like,
Yeah.
he had all this information, like it looked like, I don't know, like you know how somebody trying to piece together a murder or a conspiracy theory that had like a big chalkboard. It was like he did that. Like he had all this information, and
Hmm.
it was all based off of the toys that he saw. And he put it all
Yep.
together. He was like, yeah, they're gonna do a CG of Grand Moff Tarkin. Like he was breaking it down. I was like, yo, how in the hell did you get all? And it's the same thing with toys. Like look at Ultraman. That's the best look we got of Ultraman. And then
Mhm.
this has got to be in the movie because they
Yeah, we
made a
know
toy
this.
of it.
He's got to be in the and we can see down in the bottom right corner. He's got the fortress in the background. So this guy's obviously in the Arctic. You can see the fortress all behind him in the ice. Looks like the abominable snowman or whatnot. So, yeah, I mean that's right there, given away. It's not in any of the trailers. We don't know shit about it. Power suit. Lex Luthor in his fucking purple and green power suit. Not in the trailer. Spoiled by
Never,
the
nowhere
thing.
near spoiled by the thing. Yeah.
But to get down to it, to give people that
Yeah, the
what
Bavarian
they
hammer.
want,
That's what he's
the
called. The
Bavarian
Bavarian
hammer.
hammer.
The whether it's horned rim glasses worn by George Reeves and Clark Kent in the Adventures of Superman, or the bumbling mild-mannered disguise adopted by Christopher Reeve in the Superman the movie, the Man of Steel knows what it takes to protect a secret identity. And I have a hilarious clip too about when Superman 2. Remember when she jumped off the Niagara Falls and he goes to help her out of the water, and he pretends like she pulled him in the water, and he
Oh
falls in,
yeah,
and he's like,
yeah. Yeah, I can't
acting
swim.
like
Yeah, he's like,
bro, acting like a straight up, like, bro, this is how he sees us. This is how Superman
yeah.
sees humans. This is how he can identify. But that's a whole nother story. So there's another character with a well-guarded mysterious identity, the Hammer of Baravia. One of several villains making their way into the DC universe, the DCU, in this new Superman movie. And this gold armored Avenger of Baravia, looking like Hulkbuster. Speaking of Hulk, we're going to talk about Hulk in a little bit too. Hulk is coming back in Spider-Man. Oh shit! But this big Baravia guy, he's been identified as such in everything from the film's toy line to a Daily Planet newspaper photographed on the set. But curiously, there's no word on who's portraying the high-tech terrorist seen trading blows with Superman in our thumbnail and in the trailer. And the same goes for Ultraman, which is another masked mystery man clad in an identity-concealing costume who appears to be in league with General Rick Flag Sr. and of course Lex Luthor. We saw them rocking, carrying what's his name, walking with Superman. That's Ultraman there. There's Rick Flag. Bang, to take him down.
He
And
getting Superman work right there.
he said, "Oh
Like,
shit, look how you word." Your boy
like,
was
I'm
not happy.
Ultraman.
Word.
Like,
So
Ultraman, what's up?
Clark Kent is how Superman views humans. You know what I'm talking about? That Kill Bill, baby. That Kill Bill. Yeah, we showed that clip one time. I think the hammer is Otis. He said Otis. You remember Otis? Fucking from with Gene Hackman, fat ass Otis. Yeah, Otis, man. Otis was Lex Luthor's little homie, man.
He was.
But no, it's not Otis. It's not Otis. The hammer is not Otis. But that would have been dope. But like the Hammer of Baravia, the identity of the actor playing Ultraman is also being kept under wraps. Personally, I'm gonna be pissed if it's not Corn Sweat. Straight up. Ultraman better pull that mask off, and I want to see Corn Sweat, because Ultraman is either supposed to look identically like Corn Sweat, or if he's some bizarro, then he's still got to look like a fucked up zombified Corn Sweat. But either way, it's got to be Corn Sweat. If it's someone else, that's just ass to me. But a Funko figure, a Funko Pop figure, has inadvertently and without knowing it or without realizing it, revealed a spoiler, the true identity of the guy in the armor, the Hammer of Baravia, at least to an extent, is Ultraman. So we don't know who Ultraman is, but we know that the guy inside the gold armor is Ultraman. How do we know that? Well, a new look at the second wave of the Superman Funko Pop figure series, exclusively revealed by the comicbook.com website. They said it shows the Hammer of Baravia and a limited edition Chase variant Ultraman, both displaying the number 583, suggesting that the two figures are the same character, just in different suits. While Mr. Terrific is 584 and Guy Gardner Green Lantern is 585.
585.
If you know anything at all about Funko Pop, I know you a lot of you are like, well, what the fuck is he talking about? 582? What the fuck is he talking about? If you know anything about Funko Pop, so the way they number the pop is by the character, right? So this character is 584. That's Ultraman. Or sorry, let me make sure it's 584. I'm gonna say some shit. It's 583. So Ultraman is 583. This big gold dome dude is 583. Then you got Ultraman, the purple guy, rather, is 583, and then the gold dome dude, that's this guy. That's this guy here. And yeah. So I don't know. It looks almost more like a gold stormtrooper to me than this, but that's because the body can't be in line with the same fat and width of the head. So it's just not going to look quite like that. But that's who it is. That's what it is. So yeah, that's who's under the armor. This guy. This guy.
Why does he need the armor? That's the thing. Or I could say maybe Lex Luthor is like, look, that's the Hammer of Bulgaria. Da 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 da. He's there to protect him. It's Lex Luthor with a grand scheme.
Yeah, it might be some sort of so in the latest trailer hinted that the Hammer of Baravia is a precursor to Ultraman, because he can be seen unleashing what Daily Planet reporter Clark Kent described as an ocular laser strike when he hit that beam and blew up the building with the beam, which resembles Superman's heat vision. So I'm thinking Ultraman first shows up inside the armor doing his beam. People think it's this big robot. It's really this guy inside with the powers of Superman, but obviously, Lex Luthor doesn't want to reveal that right away. So then he comes out with this like all black. I think that purple suit, it's like a flight suit for the gold armor. That's why it just looks so weird.
So
you know what I mean?
Weird.
Yeah, this is like a pilot suit for the big gold deal there. Is what that really looks like. I own a lot of pops, but only collect certain ones or series. I'm the same way. Make it Henry Cavill, man. I mean, come on, y'all don't want to give us Cavill back, but he's doing Voltron, which is crazy. I hope it's not as whack as I think it's gonna be. I hope it isn't.
I'm a big fan of Voltron.
I know.
Very big fan of Voltron.
I know.
That was like when I was a kid, Voltron was like outside of G.I. Joe and Transformers. Voltron was like that was my go-to. That was my shot. I'm not even gonna lie. When I was and I wish I still had them. One Christmas, I had got all 5 Lions, and man, I wish I still had them. I used to form Voltron, and I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all, but I used to place them all over my room in different spots, try to emulate how they were on the planet that they were. They were all somewhere different. Right. And I would just get them all out and form Voltron. It was good.
Yeah, man. I'm saying let Jizza form the head. So in the comics, Ultraman is essentially an evil Superman with similar powers. He's the sort of the godfather of a mafia-esque criminal organization that is a flipped over version of the Justice League, where all the characters are bad guys and all the villains are now heroes. It's a whole swap deal. And so the Superman character is named Ultraman, and that's who they're naming this guy. And he has the U on his chest, just like the Ultraman design. Everything looks just like Ultraman's U on his chest and everything. So it's who it is. It's his name and everything. We know it's Ultraman. So
And that's the
if
thing I
it's
don't
not
like.
Corn Sweat, like
If
then fuck
yeah,
it
and
up.
then what Ultraman? And if it's not Ultra, I don't know, man. If it's not Ultraman, because like you said, Ultraman's from Earth 3, and Earth 3 is flipped. All the heroes are villains, and the villains are heroes. That's just
Right.
what it is. There's no like they became heroes and they be no. It's that's Earth 3 is set up just like that. That's the reality of that planet. And Ultraman is just he's a Kryptonian, but he's evil. He's
Yeah.
evil. I mean, he's just like Superman. He has every power of Superman. The only difference is kryptonite affects him different. So green kryptonite makes him stronger, and gold kryptonite
Right.
is what weakens him. So you have to have
Mhm.
gold kryptonite in order to weaken him. If you don't, and you give him, and he snorts kryptonite like cocaine. Like he
Yeah, he'd be
snorts,
like,
he snorts it like
give me some
yeah,
more kryptonite, huh?
right. But he is ruthless. He's very ruthless. He's very power hungry, and he often wants to control or seeks to control all the other villains. So, and he did. He formed a evil Justice League, or
Mm-hmm.
and they literally outpowered and beat all the heroes, sort of like the heroes are beating the villains on Earth One. So
Right.
they dominate there. So it's an Earth where the villains dominate and the heroes are the struggling force. Whereas in our Earth, the villains are the struggling force and the heroes dominate. So
Yeah. Yeah. And Gunn did say there would be pocket universes, so he could be from 3. Yeah, it's
yeah, for Earth,
definitely
yeah,
some
he could be from each.
multiversal.
Yeah,
It's definitely some multiversal shit popping off. Hang on, man. I didn't realize you couldn't see us. But first, check it out. Okay, there's our Funko Pops,
okay.
and you see how they both have the number 583,
93. Yeah,
which proves that this is going to be the same character. And you know, they put out the pop. They didn't want to. They didn't realize they were revealing it, or maybe thought nobody would figure it out. I mean, because you really got to know about Funkos and the way pops work, which you know, it's not like that's going to be hard to find someone who does. So I don't know, man. It was kind of risky. I think it was a mistake. I think it was a leak. I think it was an oversight, and they let the cat out of the bag because this was the big reveal. Who's that guy? And we know. I mean, the the we see Lex Luthor coming through with Ultraman. We see him with Angela Spica, the engineer, the female villain. We see and then they invade Kal-El's Fortress of Solitude in the Arctic, implying that Lex Luthor is behind the so-called Hammer of Baravia. Obviously, no surprise there. Gunn's already confirmed that Superman's arch foe is the movie's main villain. He said, quote, the primary protagonist of Superman is, shockingly, Superman. The main villain of Superman is, shockingly, Lex Luthor. He said on his Threads response to rumors that Ultraman is Superman's evil clone. Which it's not, if they make it his evil clone that, Lex Luthor somehow creates, it is what it is. I would hope, I would really hope that Gunn has the balls to somehow we went to Earth 3 through a portal and we got Ultraman over here, because that would open up the possibility of doing more Earth 3 shit later. So,
true.
Owlman, the whole nine.
Yeah, we can get
Mhm.
Owlman. We can get what Supergirl. I mean Superwoman, which
Right.
is
So,
Wonder Woman.
yeah, and most Hollywood motherfuckers are gonna be scared to do that. They wouldn't, open a door like that, because that's so. But I think Gunn is the guy. If anyone would do it, you know what I mean, it would be Gunn. And so hopefully, man, hopefully that's what they do. I hope it is. I hope it is Earth 3, and because I mean the Syndicate, bro, fucking is I love that shit. I love the Syndicate. I love Earth 3. I just love the whole idea of the mob style Godfather. I mean, that's my whole shit. So, I mean, automatically that's gonna be up my alley. But we got the runtime for Superman that's been revealed. The Superman the movie will be 2 hours and 2 minutes, or 122 minutes long. Yeah. So, if you were wondering how this was going to play out. Was it going to be a quickie, a an hour and a half, hour and 45, or was it going to be some 3-hour bullshit? Nope. It is 2 hours, like on the dot. Like it's a 2-hour movie, like the perfect time. And there's been a lot of rumors floating around regarding, what runtime, it would be and all that. So now you know. Now you know. According to international distributors who have just received the update, and that makes it the second shortest Superman movie to date, following Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, which came in at 90 minutes. Yeah. The 1978, the first one was 143 minutes. Superman 2 was, yeah, it was kind of long.
It's kind of long.
Yeah, it rides out. It's almost 2.5 hours long. Superman 2 is just 5 minutes longer at 127 minutes, so pretty much the same. I don't want to hear it. The Donner cut was actually shorter at 116 minutes. Yeah, he cut a bunch out. Who knows why? Yeah. Usually director's cuts are longer. I've never seen a director shorten a cut, but Superman 3.
Well, I own the Donner cut.
Yeah.
It's I don't when I
all
watch
good
it, it's
classic.
according to the Christopher Reeves and Lois Lane, all them, the Donner cut is stuff that they cut out of the movie, reshot, and then put the new stuff that we saw in the movie. So in the Donner cut, they took out the new shoots, put the old shoots back in, or I guess they must have had the original film. They just showed you the original film, like how it was. And that's just because when they were filming Superman, they were also kind of filming Superman 2 at the same time. That's why in some shots you see Chris Reeves like really buff. And then other shots you'd be like, yo, what happened? I thought he was like, what's going on? So that's why you look at it, when you look at 1 and 2, they literally filmed those movies at the same time. And that's why Christopher Reeve looks the way, and he said that, around the middle of shooting Superman 1, he started working out, like really hitting the gym real hard every day for like 3 hours. And he said he wanted to build up his physique for Superman 2, but it started showing up in Superman 1. So in certain shots, you'll see Superman look like really buff, and then other shots he's not. Those are before and after hard work.
He never really got, you know what I mean?
Not like Stallone buff, but
never muscular,
he was
never Van Damme or nothing,
Nah, but he was in better shape than he was when he first shot it. You just gotta look. You gotta look real close at the shots when you're watching a movie. You can see it. I never noticed it until I was watching the featurettes on the disc, and he was talking about it.
And the thing about Superman, he really should not be buff. He shouldn't be muscular, none of that. Because he's got to be Clark Kent. He's got to be skinny. And the whole point about him having powers, it's not muscle, it's superpowers. It's the sun.
Superpowers, yes.
Right. Yeah. So we don't want to. We don't want
regular physique. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have to look like Arnold or none of that shit. He's just got to look like a regular mild-mannered reporter. So, but Superman 3 was 125 minutes long. Okay, a couple minutes longer. So they're not really that different. 1, 2, 3. They're about the same as this Superman movie. So it's relatively the same as Superman 2 and 3. For Superman Returns, though, in 2006 was 154 minutes long, way longer than the original Donner movie. And then Snyder's Batman vs Superman, if you count that as a Superman movie, was 152 minutes.
We didn't get a lot of Superman in Superman Returns. We get a lot of Soup. We got a lot of Lex Luthor, a lot of Lois Lane, not a lot of Soup.
A lot of Clark Kent.
Yeah, a lot of Clark Kent, and we finally did get Soup. Soup is in the movie pretty good, but he should have been in there more for the time for the runtime of the film.
I wasn't a fan. That movie didn't do it for me. I didn't care about it.
Well, you know why, Reno? Because that movie was supposed to be a direct sequel to Superman 2.
Right.
And they didn't put it out there too hard. And when they did and people figured it out, that's when they looked at the movie differently. We thought we were getting a new Superman movie. It was going to be something different, but it wasn't. It literally was the same thing they did with Terminator. It was a direct sequel. Because at the end of Superman 2, you see him flying off into space. So he went to go look for and then you hear him say that they found where Krypton was. Like Earth scientists found what part of the galaxy Krypton was in. So he flew there. He went there and found nothing but debris and kryptonite. which is pieces of his
Right.
planet. So then he came back to Earth and Superman Returns. That's why you see him fly over in the ship and it crash lands on the farm because he was coming
Mhm.
back from searching for any more Kryptonians, but he
Right.
didn't find any.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think oh, well, speaking of like seeing shit in a different way, if you I just recently watched, like I just finished Andor, the other day, the finale. But I was rushing through it and I was trying to like watch it and do my review for the show, and like I didn't really enjoy it. And so the other night I rewatched it immediately when Andor ends. And you got to do this, okay? If you're a fan of Star Wars, and if like me you love Rogue One, like Rogue One is like, out of all the Star Wars movie, it's like my number 3. Like Empire, fucking Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One,
Mm.
in that order. Uh
Wow.
Andor, the reason that Andor is so good, and the reason that Rogue One is so good, is they enhance what came before. So when I first watched Rogue One, I was like, oh shit, gotta watch A New Hope right after. And if you watch A New Hope right after, you literally end Rogue One on the ship with Vader walking through and Leia getting the plans and all that. And then A New Hope starts and you pop right back into that same ship and you're right there. It's like it just ended. Where it ends, A New Hope begins. Like it's the same scene. Like you can put it together in your mind, and it makes A New Hope so much better because all this backstory and all this shit is meaningful now, and all this shit that they're talking about, and the Death Star, all this shit that was kind of like, oh cool, what's that? Like I didn't even know. Like now all that shit has resonance, and it all makes sense, and it's all important, and it's all just deep. And then,
Right. You
man,
just had the
when
Battle
you
of
watch,
Scarif. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
yeah, when you watch Andor, as soon as Andor ends, immediately watch Rogue One. Oh my fuck, bro, Rogue One is 5 times better.
Really.
Knowing Cassian, knowing Andor himself, knowing, everything, just knowing Saul Guerrero. Saul Guerrero was like cool as fuck, but I didn't get like, what the fuck is he and why is he here? And like is he a rebel or not? Like what the fuck is, like, I don't get it. Like none of it made a whole lot of sense. Andor fully explains it, and then now it's just so much more of a rich experience when you watch Rogue One now. So I mean, if you haven't done this, watch Andor, immediately watch Rogue One right after it. I mean, you go from Rogue One, you go from the ending of Andor. Rogue One starts off, you see a little backstory of who Jalen Erso and Jyn Erso, his daughter, Galen Erso, and the whole. So when they talk about Galen Erso and Andor, and when you then get revealed who he is in Rogue One, it makes it so much better. Because when you just watch Rogue One, you're like, okay, who's this guy? Like Galen Erso, I don't give a fuck. Like, why do I care? Like, who's Orson Krennic? I don't care. Ben Mendelsohn's one of my favorite actors. Don't get me wrong, that's my guy. But who? Orson who? Like, but Andor makes it so much better, bro. Like, just to know who these characters are and more about them and shit like that. And fucking Donnie Yen is in it. Come on, bro. So I gotta watch it now to
That
get
makes it even
you
better.
do. You gotta watch to get this experience. I'm telling you, it's just like back in the day when when the prequels came out. I was like, oh, I gotta watch the prequels, and then watch A New Hope, and
That was
you know,
New Hope. Yeah.
and it was so dope. It was, you could put it all together, and all this shit that Obi-Wan sat there and was telling Luke about, and talking about the Clone Wars, and Anakin, and Vader, and all this shit, and he killed your father and all this, and I trained him, and dude, like all the shit Obi-Wan's talking about just makes so much more sense now that you've seen the prequels, and it's so much cooler, man. It's such a so much of a better experience, man, to watch it right after Andor. So Definitely do that if you haven't.
Well,
The
definitely am.
yeah, it's worth it. And you know, one of my favorite characters is Luthen, bro. Luthen Rail. He's so underrated, bro. That's the fucking godfather of the rebellion. Luthen is the architect of the rebellion. Like, I always wondered that as a kid. Like, why? I mean, the Rebel Alliance. Like, it just seems like this army that's already there with ships and uniforms and like rebels. Like, it's like they've already got a whole thing going. Like, where did it start? Who started it? Who kicked it off? Like, you know what I mean? And like, man, we learn all that. That's what Andor's all about, is learning who kicked off the rebellion. And it's Luthen Rail, and it's really not even Luthen. You want to keep it a buck, it's Clea. It's Luthen's
Yeah,
daughter, Clea. Clea really was running shit. And in fact, Tony Gilroy even said that. He said Clea was really in charge the whole time. Like the whole time. Even when, and she was. You know, and the rebellion is her, he said it's her entire life.
it
It's
is.
her, she wakes up in the morning, she's thinking about that, she goes to work, that's her entire day. It's all she's ever known. And she pushed Luthen in the very beginning, like, so, and she, was really leading the way after he took her in and he saved her life, yeah. But when it came to hella decisions and hella shit they had to pull off and shit, like, she was the one behind it. So yeah, that's the kind of shit I'm on. I like that kind of shit. I like the deeper lore, man, the underlying shit that you don't really get to see, and like that's what I want to know about. And when they do shit like these spin-offs, and it's just so fulfilling. So
Like
fulfilling.
they. That's why we keep asking for uh Prince Izor,
Yeah.
even in Empire,
Dash
like
Rendar.
Dash Rendar, and even in Empire. Remember when Han Solo was like, "Look, we ran into that bounty hunter on such a like." I found out that there was a lot that happened between Star Wars and Empire that we never really got to see, and they
Right.
talk about a lot, and they make a lot of references in Empire to it. And in the
Hmm.
comics, they did a lot of stuff in between, but we never got to see it. And they should have brought that to the screen. I mean,
Yeah.
those could be Disney Plus shows if you want
Yeah.
Star Wars content. But Kathleen Kennedy, she doesn't want that. She don't want to do that. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
And the robot K2SO is my guy, bro. He
K2SO,
was
yeah,
he was cool in Rogue One, but like you don't really know why he's so cool, and like what dude, Andor, you fully get to see how he's created and all that. It's just dope. And the more shit that he does in Andor, like he really gets some screen time and has some real impact. And yeah, it's just dope how every one of those characters, if they didn't do what they did, Death Star wouldn't have got blown up by Luke. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Luke didn't
That's true.
fucking Luke didn't just wake up one day and fly over to the Death Star and shoot a fucking hole in it into the hole. No, someone had to tell him where that hole was. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, the exhaust for it, yeah, because
Yeah, I
they
mean,
would have had no idea. Yeah, no idea.
and it was always kind of a joke, like, why the fuck would they make a fucking flaw? Why would they make a hole that you could shoot a thing in and just blow the whole thing up, right? Why would they make that? Like, why would there be an exhaust port that can be accessed that way? And we learn, obviously that was a really bad plot hole, but Andor fully explains it. The architect, the
It's
guy
dope.
that designed the Death Star, he put it in there on purpose so that the rebellion could use it to blow it up later. Like, because he was a rebel. He was really a rebel that was being forced to design the Death Star. So he put that in there for them, man. This shit is dope.
It is dope. It's dope,
Shit
man.
is
And it's a good
dude.
way, and it's a good way to fill in plot holes, man. George, you got to
Right.
think about it, man. And we say it all the time. George Lucas and I've even watched interviews where he really sat down and thought about a lot of this. Like he really like put all this together. Like
Yeah.
he was like, but nowadays, I don't know, man. I really, you know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I really think that like the generation that's coming up now, that are the writers now, that are the people that write these stories now. you have to be influenced to do something. And I think that they were heavily influenced by Japanese manga and Japanese
Hmm.
anime. And I think they try to emulate that when they write stories or bring things to the American market. But what they fail to
Yeah.
realize is that when you bring something from Japan to here, they modify it because the Japanese love stories and they love being told stories. They love the drama. They love the verbal back and forth. And because we bought a lot of that stuff over here in the pure Japanese form, and these kids grew up
Hmm.
watching it, they grew up loving it. But our generation, we were more on the action side. We like, look, I need to see somebody
Yeah.
flipping around and fighting and doing some. And so now these
Yeah.
guys
We
and
would just
girls that are
watch
writing
more of
these
the
stories,
movies. Yeah.
yeah, we wanted the action. So now these guys and girls are trying to write like they're trying to emulate what they saw, and the American market is what it is. We don't want it. I mean, we can do a little bit, but we don't want the drama. We don't. That's just not what we do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of toys though, dog, one more thing. This grotesquerie. We never seen this grotesquerie. My man. My man. Metamorpho. Uh the uh the what is he? He's like a, he can alter, any kind of a chemical or element or whatever, and sort of create it on it with his body. And he's sort of portrayed as like a sort of Hulk like monster at one point. And he's even grown a big hammer fist. So he will probably see some action in the movie because this new toy that has come out, another toy reveal, has revealed the form in which he will take. And there he is with the hammer fist coming down,
Mm,
just straight up edema of the legs.
mm. And this is ah, so we're gonna see this in the movie.
Yikes. That's right. Yeah, that'll be in the movie. I mean, that's movie merch right there. That's movie merch right there.
Mm. Well, I mean, we got what after this week? We got a month to go, so we're
Hmm.
gonna be here come July. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I really am. Um, I know people have mixed feelings about it, or whatever, but I'm looking forward. I like James Gunn as a director, and I know he's going to do a good job. So
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to see the good job
Yeah.
manifest itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
even with Peacemaker, I think in the Peacemaker trailer, they show him, holding a gun to himself. And since it's all connected, then we know it's got to be they're gonna exploit the different Earths. So
yeah. Peacemaker said he's got a new like helmet and shit in the second season, or this other version. There's two multiversal versions and shit. And James Gunn says that Peacemaker season 2 has a really, really, really big cameo, as he teases key connections between the HBO show and the upcoming Superman movie. And yeah, he said well, Peacemaker season 2, the trailer seems to embrace the multiverse, right? With John Cena's anti-hero meeting his doppelganger. You have and John Cena said that the show feels like the DCU's Cool Kid, as it's one of James Gunn's first babies. He said, "I'm excited to see how that expands and grows." But season 2 release date, everything we know so far about James Gunn's returning DC series and all that, we got the goods there. The release date for you guys is going to be August 21st, 2025. So just after Superman, because that comes out July 11th. And the trailer's up on YouTube. Of course, you can check that out. You've probably seen it. But no matter, it says, James Gunn said, quote, "No matter how far away we are from each other, no one will ever break us apart." DC Studios Peacemaker season 2 debuts streaming on Max in 2025. No one will ever break us apart. Yeah, that's John Cena talking. Yeah,
it's John Cena.
yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for Peacemaker too. Peacemaker, the first season was good, bro. Like
It was.
I can't remember. It kept me on my
Hard.
toes all season, bro. It was hard. Yeah.
Vigilante was dope. I fuck with Vigilante a lot. That character was cool as shit. That whole show was dope.
And everything in the show was lore from the comics. Like everything.
Hmm.
Like every character you saw,
That's
everything.
Gun. That's Gun.
Everything was lore from the comics. Yeah, everything was
Don't front on
from the
Gun.
DC comic universe. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Gun is a comic nerd. So that's why the shit he does. That's why I love the shit he does, because it's super accurate to the comics. It's not super accurate, and it doesn't have to be super accurate. I just want to recognize what the fuck I'm looking at. I just want to be able to look at that and go, "Oh, I know what that is from the comic or from this or that." Like, I don't want to look at that and go, "Okay, now explain to me who this character is," because clearly you've changed his gender, his race, his costume. Like, he's a completely different character. So tell me the name now, because clearly it's no one I know. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, who needs that? Like, we just want to see shit that we recognize. I don't care, who does what or who is what and who's who. I just want to recognize the shit on the screen. That's it. You don't have to be 1-to-1. It doesn't have to be verbatim.
Right.
You can
But we want to
embellish.
know what we're looking at.
Yeah, I want to know who it is. I want to be able to see who it is. I don't want you to have to tell me who it is and what's going on. I want to be able to see and know and recognize. And so the Avengers Doomsday, we know that they're building a spaceship in the UK. Marvel Studios is constructing a spaceship in the UK, and there's been speculation about who or what it belongs to, and that's been running rampant. And we may have finally have an answer. So Avengers Doomsday recently shooting in Bahrain, and soon will move to Windsor Great Park in England. A 1960s era bungalow is expected to be built there, as is a spaceship that has generated all this speculation online. And so while the house has been given various code names, including Iron Fist House and Luke Cage House, it may have something to do with Century's darker half, the Void, or the Void as in the wasteland at the end of time itself. Honestly, it's hard to say. But the spaceship, the insider guy, Daniel Richman, claims to have learned who it belongs to. He says Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel. So it's Captain Marvel's ship. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care. Brie Larson hasn't officially been announced as part of the Avengers Doomsday cast, but it is expected to be a member of the Captain America Avengers team. Because there's a Captain America Avengers team, a Sam Wilson Avengers team, and then there's now the Thunderbolts, which are the new Avengers. And I assume West Coast Avengers maybe soon, or if not, that's who they will be. Which, U.S. Soldier, all that, so hey. And we got well acquainted with her ship. So the Hoopty in the Marvels, and Carol is likely searching for Monica Rambeau in the Hoopty. And so at the end of the Marvels, and I wouldn't know this because I haven't actually seen the end of the Marvels except the end credit scene, because I had to see the whole thing about but I didn't finish that movie. I couldn't get through it. Sorry. So she was transported into another reality where she's come face to face with the X-Men, Beast, and Binary, right? Monica Rambeau. And so with Monica Rambeau, a variant of her mother, Maria Rambeau, and chances are that the parallel timeline is Deadpool and Wolverine's Earth 10,005. So Avengers Doomsday largely remains a mystery to us, with tidbits like these not making it easier to piece together what's coming out, till next December. And still, it is undeniably, cool and fun to think about what, might be on the horizon, especially for, all these different cool characters and shit. But, unless you're a big Captain Marvel fan, and I don't know you if you are, because I don't know any Captain Marvel fans. But hey, if that's your bag, I don't knock you. If that's your bag, I don't knock you. Well, no, fuck that. Raw Talk fucks with it.
Yeah, he does.
Raw Talk fucks with the Marvels heavy. So Brie Larson said, I think there's still so much inside of Carol. I feel like getting to be on this team just cracked her open in a way that she hadn't been, and I really loved her for that. She said, I don't want Marvel to come for me. She said, but there is definitely something to answer your question that I would want to say, but I'm not going to. So what? Yeah. And, you know, what are you gonna do? All these characters, all these actors, they're all in Avengers Doomsday, including Chris Hemsworth as Thor. And we have now recently realized that Thor himself as a character is actually being completely revamped, remade, and just turned into just like a guy with a hammer. And all of Asgard is going to become actual mythology, not real fiction in the Marvel continuity. They're actually doing this like in the comics with the character. For whatever reasons, yeah. They have their reasons, I don't know. And with the current climate, you know, the connotations to the Aryan Brotherhood, because if you don't know, the Aryan Brotherhood's whole symbol is like Valhalla and Vikings and Norse mythology and all that shit.
Yeah,
Thor and all that. And you know that. You work in the
or just a skull,
right.
Just a plain old doodah skull.
And so there's, you know, but that's just my like weird speculation. Who knows why? But this Thor rumor reveals more about MCU characters for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars role. And so we know Robert Downey Jr. also starring in Avengers Doomsday, right? Chris Hemsworth, Thor, is still the only cast member from the original team who will be returning, you know, for the new Avengers movies, since Downey was set to play a completely new character and not really returning as Iron Man. So Thor's potential future in the MCU has been teased in a new rumor circulating online, and so that potential future, according to this insider, Marvel Studios is reportedly planning to give Thor a proper send-off in the upcoming Avengers movies. So just like what they've done with Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, and Avengers Endgame. But the insider hinted that even if Thor will die in Doomsday or Secret Wars, there's still a possibility that his story will live on in Valhalla, whatever that means, which will actually briefly which was actually briefly shown at the end of Thor Love and Thunder. Now I hope they decanonize everything from Thor Love and Thunder, but that's just me. Another movie I haven't seen all of. I think I've seen all of 20 minutes of it. Like as soon as I saw Christian Bale, bro, as soon as I saw Christian Bale talking to this goofy ass asshole who was just being a jerk off, I was like, this don't mesh. I know Christian Bale is on here being a serious actor, like trying to give us a dope ass character, and he really did. And the rest of the movie around him was just a fucking cartoon, and it was ass. I couldn't get into it, but yeah, I couldn't do it.
You probably didn't see the part.
I really wanted to like Thor Love and Thunder. I was bro, I was so into
you was hyped.
Ragnarok was dope, and I thought Love and Thunder was gonna be this like Beta Ray Bill movie, like with all this cool shit, and it was nothing.
It was never in it. Thor had both hammers. And
damn you, Taika.
The one hammer was jealous. It was just dumb, man. It didn't make any sense. And a lot of people were asking, like, is this supposed to be a comedy?
Yeah,
I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah, I don't know what they bring to DC at San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con. Sure.
Well, here's the good thing. Here's the good thing about that. San Diego Comic-Con should take place a little bit before the Superman movie comes out. So we might get something else. They might give us a new trailer. They might give us a teaser trailer. I don't know.
I don't need nothing else. I'm ready to see the movie like as is. I'm sold. Like you don't have to give me more. You know?
Yeah.
Do we want more? Do we want more? Do we want more of the movie? Like we've seen enough. I want to just see the movie now.
I like that runtime on that movie.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. I mean, 2 hours. I think it's gonna be good.
2 hours of that. I need 2 hours of Superman. I'm okay.
Listen, see, the only thing that's gonna be missing from this movie, and this is what there's gonna be a huge divide. I can already see it. This movie's gonna be very divisive, and it's gonna be because, and my man Vel Love said it. There's no mystical fucking like epic, gravitas, no fucking, triumphant symphonic moment. It's not that movie. It's not that kind of movie,
No.
and you're not gonna. But all Superman movies really have been and are like traditionally. So people
I
are
think
gonna
this
not.
movie,
People aren't gonna really realize that's what they don't like about it at first. Watch, you're gonna see a lot of people going,
yeah, a lot of people,
it's
yeah,
Gun did this or Gun did that or it's just another gun movie or whatever. They're not gonna realize that what's missing of it is it's gonna be just like a comic. And none of the Superman movies before were like
have
comics.
ever been or like
They
comics.
were
And this movie
cinematic.
also
This one's not
cinematic,
gonna
yeah, and this
be a big
movie,
cinematic.
no,
It's a
and this one
fucking
also
comic.
defines. This one's also going to define the DC movie universe. That's what is mainly going to establish it because all of the heroes are going to be there.
Yeah.
We're going to get to see other villains, other heroes. So it's going to establish a lot. They said that Gunn said that Supergirl is going to make her debut in this movie. So by the
Yeah.
time we get to her movie, it won't be no thing where we're sitting there watching the origin story. She's already established, and that's what I like about it. It's
Yeah,
all
everybody.
everything's gonna be always gonna be yeah, it's gonna be established.
Yeah.
So we get these movies, these heroes are gonna already be established, and they're gonna be in full swing, which is a good relief, man. Because if they
Yeah.
do, and I know they're gonna do a Batman, it'll
Yeah.
already be up and running. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
don't have to go through him in crime alley and you see his mom's pearls all over the ground. And no, we
Yeah,
ain't do
we
you ain't gotta
no
do
more.
all that.
Nope.
None of
No
that.
more pro. No more. Yeah. It's not. It's no more origin. Like Hollywood's over the origin story movie. I think they realized that we're over the origin story. Like I still want some origins, but there's a way you can, weave
Flash
it
it back.
in.
Flash it back. Yeah,
Yeah,
flash it back.
little
Flash it
weave it
back and let's
in.
keep it
Little
moving.
flashback here and
Yeah.
there, but fucking let's go. Like let's start it off with some action. Let's put me right in there. Like when I get a Captain America comic or whatever, I don't open it and see how he gets the soldier serum and all this shit. No, I don't. I already that like he's automatic. He's already doing whatever mission he's on. Like that's how comics are. That's how these movies should be. That's what superhero fatigue. It's not superhero fatigue. It's that same fucking formulaic movie fatigue.
Yeah.
Here's the origin. The
And
guy does this. He loses his
yeah.
powers. He gets them back. Blah 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 blah. Get
Yeah.
the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. I'm done with that
And you
shit.
know, George Lucas, I watched the interview with George Lucas. He was talking about that. He said that's how he got Star Wars sold. He said I tricked him
Mhm.
into thinking I was gonna give him the same old sci-fi formula that's been in
Yeah,
Hollywood throughout years. And he
right.
said, and they bought it hook, line,
It
and
was
sinker.
easy.
He said,
It was easy.
I even had an artist come in and draw pictures and do it. And he said, and they loved it. They were like, yeah, 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 give it to us. And he said, and then when I bought out Star Wars, they were like, wait a minute, this is what you showed us? What is,
Uh,
but he said it was a
uh,
hit. And then he said, after I did Star
was it?
Wars,
Oh my god.
now, if you didn't do a movie that was like my movie,
Yep.
they didn't want
Hollywood
nothing
knowing.
to do with you.
Now they
Yeah,
just want.
Hollywood's like,
Oh, we need another Star Wars. We need another Star Wars. Every movie had to be
yep,
another Star Wars.
yep. He said I was the new cookie cutter, and he
Yeah.
said, and I ran with it. Yeah, so I mean, Hollywood's got to stop doing that, man. We want innovation. We want something fresh. We need something new. When you get talented
Well,
directors
here's
like
something new.
what? Mm,
The Hulk is back, baby. Whether you're into the Hulk in the MCU or not, like I know a lot of people just want more Hulk. It
oh,
is
we love
true.
Hulk, man.
Yeah, it is true.
We love
There's
Hulk.
rights issues. They can't put him. They can't make their own Hulk movie yet. That they don't quite have that right yet. But Mark Ruffalo is set to reprise his role as Bruce Banner. At least I don't know if he hulks out. I know he's gonna come back in there. It's unknown, what role Banner's gonna play in Spider-Man: Brand New Day, which is the Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland movie that's coming out with Sadie Sink. And I know I have a really interesting idea of who Sadie Sink could be playing, what this character could be. It's a character nobody's really thought about for a long time.
Mm,
I don't think a lot of people even know about this character.
Sadie Sink.
Yeah, the one I think she's gonna play. Let me find it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, never mind. I just sold y'all a dream. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about that too. So there's a new character in the movie Brand New Day that listen, if anybody still doesn't fucking know who Sadie Sink is gonna play, like this is who she's gonna play. Like this is it. It's not Firestar, it's not anyone you thought, and it's the one that everyone wrote off. Everyone said nope, it definitely can't be that. Everyone said it can't be Mary Jane because Zendaya is Mary Jane.
But they got it. They got to
Zendaya is
introduce.
MJ. She's not Mary
She's
Jane.
MJ, but she's not Mary Jane. Yeah, she's MJ. Yeah, but they got to introduce Mary Jane at some point.
And let me say something. The way they're gonna do it is through a superhero. Mary Jane is a superhero in a certain comic. Well, in a certain property. I'll get to it. I'll break it down. Hold on. Let me get to this Hulk shit. So, Brand New Day, Mark Ruffalo. It's confirmed that his appearance is going to be a much larger than a cameo. I think he's going to play more of a substantial role, more of like how Robert Downey Jr. was in the other Spider-Man movie. Maybe even more.
Yeah.
That was more of a cameo. Maybe even more than that. Like more of a co-star almost, right? So, and that would be interesting, like seeing Banner and Peter Parker running around doing shit, dealing with shit. No one knows who Parker is. Maybe somehow Banner knows, right? So, Brand New Day will be Ruffalo's 10th appearance in a mainline MCU project. Still hasn't had his own movie. Shortly followed by Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, respectively. So, Ruffalo's Banner was last seen in the Disney Plus series She-Hulk, where a car accident left his cousin Jennifer Walters cross-contaminated with his blood, transferring her into She-Hulk, and he did some fucking yoga. And Banner trains Walters to transform and control her powers, and is next seen in the finale where he appears with his son Scar, who just looks like goddamn who did it and ran. And She-Hulk attorney at law showed that Banner was still using his Professor Hulk form when he transformed, and was able to shift between Banner and Professor Hulk sort of at will, while retaining his personality. And so, although it's not confirmed if Banner will transform into Professor Hulk or the Savage Hulk persona, Banner can still play a pivotal role in the story as Bruce Banner, as like a scientific mentor. But I'll really be disappointed, and I think everybody will be. Like, you can't do that shit, Marvel. You fucking put Banner, you gotta Hulk out. That's just it. It's bad enough you tease us. It's bad enough you don't give us a Hulk movie. It's bad enough you haven't paid fucking Paramount the little money, whatever they want. Give them the money. You have it. Give them the money. Let's get the fucking thing. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, created by Stan Lee. Really, Jack Kirby, let's be real. 1962. First debuted in Hulk, 1962. Number one. Bruce Banner was a reserved scientist experimenting with gamma rays until, the experiment left him exposed to the rays, and while trying to save Rick Jones from exposure. So the gamma rays transformed him into the Hulk, and changed him and all that shit. So the Hulk went on to be a founding member of the Avengers and the Defenders, and was a frequent ally to the Fantastic Four. Spider-Man Brand New Day is set to be the fourth entry in the Spider-Man MCU Spider-Man series, and so it's set to be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. If you thought that was a good movie, I thought it was decent. So that's very promising. That's very promising. The script is written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. Tom Holland is coming back as, of course, Spider-Man. Zendaya's coming back. Jacob Batalon's coming back, and in their same roles as they're in smaller roles. And as reported by the Apocalyptic Horseman on X, Michael Mando is in talks to return as Mac Gargan, so reprising his role from Spider-Man Homecoming. And although the status of his deal is currently unknown, but Sadie Sink and Lisa Colon-Zayas have been also cast in undisclosed roles, and the film will begin shooting in late July in London. So expected to wrap in the fall. We're talking summer 2026. So this is a ways off. So there's lots of time to speculate and blah blah blah.
As far as what?
I'm gonna
Speculate what?
about who Sadie Sink is. I, yeah, and then we
Mm-hmm.
got to talk about some other wild shit. But so Sadie Sink, MJ, Mary Jane rather. Uh, there's a character named Jackpot, and it's a superhero that Peter and Mary Jane's Faustian bargain with Mephisto. The Marvel Universe effectively resets Peter once again, making single and making his way as a freelance photographer for the Daily Bugle. Peter still leads his web slinging double life as Spider-Man, and eventually crosses paths with another masked hero by the name of Jackpot, a super heroine with powers of agility and superhuman gymnastics, flowing red hair like Sadie Sink, and a code name that curiously harkens back to the first words MJ spoke to Peter on their blind date. Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot. And yeah, that's Jackpot. And so despite this very on the nose tease that Jackpot was disguised as MJ, she was actually a young woman named Alana Jacobson or Jabson, who adopted the Jackpot identity from its previous holder, Sarah Arrett. So Jackpot, it's gonna be it's they're not gonna be able to pull the gag of you thinking it's MJ or Mary Jane, because there's no like Mary Jane in this series. So, but it's actually she's going to play a character I think named Alana Jobson. Alana Jobson is the one who everyone thought it was Mary Jane, but it turns out to be Alana Jobson. She's this character named Jackpot, and the identity from so Spidey and Jackpot initially hit it off, and their mission to locate the villain known as Menace ends tragically with a city councilman being killed or a councilwoman being killed. And despite, holding herself responsible, Jackpot continues her crime fighting life until she's afflicted with blindness, a blindness serum delivered by the villain Blindside through Spider-Man successfully, restoring her vision with a serum of his own. Like a combination of it and the serum in her bloodstream that originally bestowed her powers, and tragically proves fatal and kills her. And so then after she dies, the Sarah Arrett character returns to her Jackpot identity, and then after her husband and daughter are murdered by Boomerang at the behest of Rose, the Rose, the guy, the Rose, Sarah puts a stop to the Rose before returning from retiring from superheroics for good, and so she adopts the pseudonym of Alana Jobson to honor her old friend. So it's all very confusing, playing with names and all this shit. You know how Marvel does. But Jackpot was not gone for long. MJ, Mary Jane, eventually takes over the moniker after Alana and Sarah and everything. The Jackpot, she does eventually actually does become Jackpot. So yeah, it's like there's no Mary Jane, red-haired Mary Jane to pull off the gag of, oh, it's really not Mary Jane, it's this other lady, Alana Jobson, and then have that whole thing go on, and then the actual Mary Jane picks up the mantle. They would have to cut all that out and just go straight to Mary Jane as Jackpot, or this Jackpot as Alana Jobson. I don't think that they should really make it Mary Jane because of that reason. Like I don't think I think it should just be Alana Jobson. But yeah, she's gonna be in Spider-Man. Jackpot's gonna be in Spider-Man. We can only assume it's gonna be played by Sadie Sink, which is pretty much a no-brainer. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because we need another Spider-Man movie. Like and the two. I mean, they were all good. Like I can't sit there and say nothing bad about any of the new Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. They were all good. They were all good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were. I mean, they're all decent. I mean, they're all decent. I think that they weren't really like the way I would have done it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's definitely an MCU Spider-Man. So they didn't do horrible. But speaking of like movies and shit, you know that game Elden Ring, bro?
Yeah.
How about they're making a movie?
No, stop.
What?
I mean,
Elden Ring is the shit. It's a
it is.
fire ass game. Yo, shout out Wise the La Kid. What up? What up? Peace, peace. Been a long time, fam. Yo, it's not the kind of game that you would ever think they could make a movie out of because there's literally no plot. It's just literally open world, and you just kind of there's just shit. There's just this world, and you just adventure in it. Like there's no real set like story or the thing you have to follow, and that's kind of the whole deal about it, right? But it's like one of the best experiences. It's super, 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 super like immersive, and just really, really freedom, free. You can do whatever. So, yeah, Alex Garland is set to direct and write an Elden Ring film for A24 and Bandai Namco Entertainment. Look at that, bro.
That's deep, bro.
Bandai Namco is making movies now. What?
They got the money. They got the money. I
Oh,
mean,
they
and
got the money.
it'll sell their product. Uh, Listen, if you want to do a video game movie, you do have to get permission from the IP. And
Yeah.
a lot of times when Hollywood wants to do a movie, and you got to get approval. So like when they did the Resident Evil movies, you had to get approval from Capcom, and
Yeah.
Capcom had to okay the whole thing. But I think what a lot of a lot of video game companies do is Hollywood comes in there and sells them an idea, and then they say, "All right, yeah, you can do a movie about our game," and then they
Mhm.
get in there and they Hollywood it, and fans hate it. Video game fans hate it. Gamers can't stand it. We haven't had a successful video game movie
Yeah.
yet. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Un-
Not super
Uncharted,
duper.
Uncharted was people didn't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me see, Mario Brothers, Street Fighter, and I'm talking about the live action Mario Brothers. The cartoon that they just bought out, the anime they just bought out was actually pretty decent. So any of the live action stuff, Tomb Raider was probably the best thing we got. That was the best we got, and Hollywood's got to do better. They want to sell us these movies. They want us to watch them. They
Yeah.
got to do better. They
Yeah.
got to
It's.
follow the
I
source
mean,
material, and that's just it.
yeah. Adaptations are crazy hard to pull off. They never come off right. But this guy Alex Garland, he's done some bangers. He did 28 Days Later. That's a great movie.
That's a great
Ex
movie.
Ex Machina. He did Annihilation, Civil War, which was really good. That was if you haven't seen Civil War, that's pretty dope. Recently, dystopian post apocalyptic warfare. And then he's got some upcoming projects, including the next entries in the 28 Days Later franchise. If you know 28 Days Later, it's like a post-apocalyptic, fast zombie.
It was good, and it's
Yeah,
good.
real
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
real good.
28, yeah, 28
28
days,
years.
28 weeks.
Yep.
Now we're at 28 years.
Now he's doing 28 years later, and 28 years later, The Bone Temple films, which he wrote and produced. So like a part 1 and 2 of 28 years later. So like 2 more movies. And then The Ring, he's doing Elden Ring, rather, is supposed to be his next film and is expected to begin shooting in 2026. So so Elden Ring, well, yeah, let me tell you about the movie. So Garland, A24 officially partnering for the next feature film in the collaboration of Bandai Namco. Nexus Point News and exclusive reported that Garland said to write and direct the film adaptation of the critically acclaimed video game. It's so weird. I want to know he's just gonna make up a fucking script because there's really not much to go on, not much at all. He can pull some familiar shit from Elden Ring, but there's no story to follow, so that nobody can be like, he didn't get the story right.
That's
There's
true.
no story.
Yeah, that's
There's no
true.
story.
Yeah, there's no
So
story.
there's
Yeah.
nothing. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing. Elden Ring is a role-playing game developed from software published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. The game released February 2022, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, and blah 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 blah. The game was directed by Hideki co-wrote the game with George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones. Of course, the game went on to win several awards. The 2022 Game Award, Game of the Year. Its expansion pack, Shadow of the Empire, went on to be nominated for Game of the Year. The following year, of course, it didn't win. Astrobot just tore shit up. Elden Ring follows the journey of the Tarnished. Okay, so they're going to try to give us a plot here. Let's see what they say. Elden Ring follows the journey of the Tarnished. Okay. Exiles summoned to the lands between to collect the shattered pieces of the powerful Elden Ring. The ring's destruction has thrown the world into chaos, and the Tarnished must undergo several boss fights to uncover the secrets to restore the Elden Ring and become the new Elden Lord. Well, yeah, I mean, technically you do. You collect shit, and technically at the end you become the Elden Lord, right? That's not a plot. That is not a story. Okay, that is not a plot. That is just a game, and you can put any kind of story, kind of adventure. So hopefully they'll use terms like tarnished, which is what we call the exiles, the warriors that you get to pick. You get to be the tarnished, and they summon you. It's a very weird, very very weird. Visually, I could see Guillermo del Toro very much making Elden Ring, like visually. It's very Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be good if he made it. When he did Labyrinth, that kind of reminded me of Elden Ring. Like, but it was before Elden Ring.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Guillermo. Blaze, they're making a fucking Elden Ring movie, right? Yeah. Hopefully George writes it. That's the thing. George R. R. Martin, but he's not. He's not writing it. He's who the guy's writing it is Alex Garland, the guy who made 28 Days in 28 whatever 28 28 Days Later. It's a zombie movie. He made that. He made Civil War, Annihilation, Ex Machina. Yeah. But yeah, he Let me see. But yeah, that's just
Ex Machina was good. That was a bomb movie, bro. That was Ex Machina was a really, really, really good movie, bro.
I couldn't get into it. I'm gonna try to watch it again. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, you gotta I couldn't get into it either. And then I don't know. I had to be in the mood to watch something like that because it's a drama. It's a drama. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I had to be in the mood, and when I was in the mood and I did watch it, it was good. It was really good, really good. But if you if we and you was just sitting around, you was like, yeah, you want to see a movie? Let's just watch Ex Machina. I'd be like, absolutely not. I'd be in the mood for that, sir. I'm sorry. Yeah. But when I was in the mood for it, I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Man, you know what I want to see? That Predator
killers, man. Yeah, I want to see that, man.
Look at that.
Killer of killers.
Man.
Dope.
Look at this. Look at the cape.
Mm-hmm.
This is made out of alien xenomorph fucking tails. I believe. I believe. Crazy ass looking predators. Yeah, but what does this say? This says new Predator movie is tripling down on Badlands' most divisive Yautja element. The Predator Killers released a new trailer, tripling down the most divisive element. What's the divisive element of Predator Badlands? Although Predator Badlands is the next live-action Predator movie, fans are animated anthology film will follow 3 different Predator stories set in 3 different time periods, capitalizing on the success of Prey. So, While it is separate from the Predator Badlands, the animated movie is using one of its most divisive changes. Predator Badlands, unlike any of the other films in the franchise, as it will follow a Predator protagonist named Deck. While some fans love this idea, it has been incredibly controversial as Deck looks far different from other Predators. Previously, each of the Predators looked incredibly similar, with the alien from Prey being the only real exception. Deck looks even more different. However, Deck's proportions are more humanoid, his face is smaller, and his hairstyle is different. While these changes are probably meant to humanize Deck, not probably, absolutely are meant to humanize Deck, they have divided the Predator franchise. And I can see why. Because Predator's a fucking monster. He's not a person. He's a monster.
He's a monster.
He's a
He's an alien.
monster.
Yeah, he don't
If
look
you
like a human.
look at the pantheon of Hollywood monsters, you will see Predator every time. Anytime they show up a pantheon of monsters, aliens up there, Predators up there, Michael Myers,
Yep.
fucking Frankenstein, fucking Wolfman, right? Jason, Freddy, they're all there. Predator's a monster. He's not meant to be a person. He's not meant to have humanoid fucking features and a personality. I mean, that's just I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm a little bit I mean, here's the thing. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. The movie's gonna be good. Is it gonna be weird that the main character kind of looks like a predator, but kind of is more like a guy? Yeah, that's gonna be hella weird. But you have to you have to separate yourself. You got to take yourself out of it and just think of this as some else world's project.
You better, or you're not gonna enjoy it.
Basically. So, but I know Stu's got to go fight crime. Before we wrap it up, let's take one look here at the old Killer of Killers trailer. So there he is fighting Vikings. Yeah. Well, rather, yeah, the Vikings.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You know that's a very popular anime style now. Damn.
Yeah. Look at that. Fucking samurai. Yeah. And then you got the Predator like fighting ninjas.
Dang.
I mean, that's the whole thing. The Predator comes through these different time periods of Earth and fights, the best warriors of the time. So World War II fighter pilot, probably the most deadly dudes at the time. Ninjas in feudal Japan and Vikings and,
Samurai.
Samurai, there's your ninja right there. Swat. Check.
Yeah,
there he is. Ninja style. Then we got some aerial battles and shit. Big brutish motherfucker.
And we also I found out too that the when in Prey, that is
Say what?
Predator is from the Yacha homeworld, but they're like a desert dwelling type predator. They're from like the desert lands of that planet.
This one, the big guy?
Nah, the one that's in Prey. The one that's in Prey. So they're affirming that there are different looking versions of the Yacha
right
on their planet.
Right.
Sort of like there's,
and that tracks. I mean, that's fine. Like, and there was that movie, Predators, plural, and that was the whole point of that movie, that there were multiple kinds of predators. There was a big one. There
different races. There's different races. They're all the same race, but there's different, species or cultures.
Yeah.
Cultures of them, different cultures of them, because they're the same species, but there's different cultures of them,
right?
And they hunt different, and they have different weapons. Yeah, they all have advanced technology, but they use it in different ways, and they have different, and they've invented different things. So, like if you look at
it was a Yacha role-playing game, they'd be races. You'd pick your race and your class.
You pick your race, you pick your class, or the way it was explained to me was like if you had a Chinese airplane American airplane and a Russian airplane, they would all be different, but they would all be airplanes.
Yeah.
That's sort of the way the Yachas are. Their technology is each technology of each race on that planet, each race of Yacha is different. And the one that was in Prey, his technology was different, and he's more of a. They said he was like a desert dwelling
Mm.
Yacha according to the lore, but he was
Mm.
kicking ass and taking names in that damn movie.
Here's your guy that looks very humanistic.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks really humanistic.
There's the Aldani well, what is it? Waldar no. Well, Wayland, the Wayland droid right there. Wayland droid. And yeah, that's Deck. And there's this boss dude. Maybe controversial. Future Predator movies changing the designs of titular aliens is the best option, allowing the Yacha to stand out from each other will give each alien as well as each film more character. Seeing the Yacha evolve alongside humanity will be a fun way to add lore to the Predator franchise, as having them the same technology in every film would get stale. Predator Killer, Predator Badlands. Yeah, I mean, if you want to expand the whole thing and make it more than just that one Hollywood monster, then this is great, because the comics the comics expand. That's where all these different species and races of Yacha, that's what we're talking about, they're in the comics. That's where all this is. It's all in the comics. That's where the different types of predators are discussed and shown, is in the comics. Predator comics, they're all over the place. They're crazy. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
Because I'm a big Predator fan.
So Uncharted is fire as a
Uncharted
game.
is
Didn't
fire
see the
as a
movie.
game.
I heard the movie wasn't all that.
Don't waste your time. Movie
It
wasn't
was
that
like,
great. I watched it. Yeah, don't waste your time. Play the game. Play the game.
Kevin Davis said Predator will be a success at the box office.
I hope so, because I'm looking. But they definitely gonna get my money because I go see every Predator movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, right. One way or another, it's gonna do well because people are gonna buy tickets.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed with a Predator movie yet. But
It's a popular franchise.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? You got to go or what? What time is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to go early tonight, so let me see.
Oh, you got to go in early, you said?
I got an hour. Yeah, I got to be in. I got an hour to get there. I got an hour to get there.
Oh.
I got a 9:30.
All right, cool. One more thing. Marvel Legends. We've been waiting on X-Men 97. The second wave. We had that really cool first wave. And then also G.I. Joe is coming up. Yojo June is coming up, so there'll be 3 weeks of reveals for G.I. Joe Classified next month. So that's something we'll definitely be on top of. And yes, we only have a couple days until the new Hasbro Legends fan stream, which takes place Thursday. So also tomorrow at 11 a.m. you'll want to catch the fan stream for the Marvel Legends stuff. What are they going to reveal? We don't know. That's what we're going to find out. And let's see. As we get closer to the event, ourselves speculating on might see. So here's the speculation. Let's see. Rumored to include the following for the next wave: Morph, Jubilee, Emma Frost, Cable, Roberto DaCosta, and Logan. I am super happy about the Cable rumor because that's my favorite character, and I hope I would love to see a great this version. I really need to see this version of Cable.
That'd be the bomb.
We need a Jubilee. We really need a Beast.
Yeah, we do need a Beast.
But those do I really need. Morph is fine. I mean, Logan. Yeah, I mean, come on. How many Logans we got? I'm cool. Like, we don't even have to do another Wolverine. But they will. It's always gonna sell. There's only gonna be always got to be a Wolverine. But yeah, Morph, Jubilee. What else? Emma Frost. We haven't had a good Emma Frost in a while. Really, there's no great Emma Frost. There's a decent one, but it's pinned up and shit, pin joints. Roberto DaCosta. That's this guy here. Why Roberto DaCosta? Why not his superhero name?
Beats me.
Which is, by the way, why can't I think of his name right now? Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be mad when I see it too. Hold on. Sunspot. God damn it. But why don't we get Sunspot? Like, why doesn't he look like Sunspot? I don't want like a guy.
Maybe they
in
couldn't
a
pull it off.
jacket. That's
Maybe they
lame.
just,
Like,
yeah, maybe they just. Oh, you know why? Because in the damn, in the
probably didn't.
cartoon, that's
Probably
what he
wasn't
looked like. He
Sunspot in the
looked like
cartoon, right?
it wasn't Sunspot in the cartoon. He looked like that. So
Yeah.
that's why we get like.
But Cable, man, fuck! I can't wait. I hope they do the Cable, like that, man. I really need a
Yeah,
Cable like that. I
that's
have a decent Cable like that,
nice.
but man,
No, I got a decent Cable too, but that one, yeah, that's the Cable we're looking for.
I got
I
two
mean, out of
decent.
that, I would want Cable, Morph, and Jubilee because I'm trying to put together like the X-Men Gold team.
Yeah.
And after that, once I get them all, that's it. I don't need anything else. Like you did the Justice League, that's what I'm trying to do with the Marvel Legends. I just want to put together an X-Men Gold team. I'm good after that. I mean, I got Cyclops, I got a
got that.
Cable.
My gold
I
team is
got yeah, the only one I would need, I gotta get Angel, Jean Grey, but they haven't had a decent Jean Grey that I can see. So
This is the newest Cable they got.
and that's the Marvel versus Capcom version. Which is dope. It's still dope.
I love that.
Cable.
And then that's the
That was
OG
the last one they
one.
put out. That's the old one.
This is like the old one,
That's hard. That's still kind of hard.
but it's my boy though. Yeah, that's how he looked. That's my guy. And so that suit right there is a little bit, sort of similar to this.
Yeah, it is a lot similar to that. Yeah.
It's sort of based on that. But yeah, let me see. Watch. Motherfucker.
Oh yeah. You got the whole damn X-Men team. You got gold, you got blue, you got the whole damn you got X-Force.
I mean, Cable and shit. But yeah. That's just one of the of the mutant shelves that I got. That's one of the teams. I got that one. I got the mutant. I got the Evil Brotherhood. Got all the villains and shit. All the Wolverines and shit. Got the Krakoa joints and all that. James Gunn is going to Comic-Con. What announcements will he make for DC at San Diego, man? I can't wait to find out. Marvel Studios taking a 1-year break from theaters is a good thing. They have nothing left to prove to anybody. Well,
this is true.
I mean,
this is true, but at the same time, they need to take a year off and get it together.
They gotta prove something to the original fans. I think they gotta prove that they still got it because after Endgame, it's been hit or miss and mostly miss.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what Gunn does. I think Gunn's gonna revolutionize the way Hollywood does comic movies. when, you know, which he already has. It's just that Hollywood hasn't really caught on that this is how we do comic movies now yet. But when you start to see Superman and Batman and all this shit, it's gonna, oh, okay, well, this is how we do comic movies now. And so that's a good thing, because Gunn is a comic nerd like us, and he's gonna, you know, care about comic lore and comic characters and, you know, source material and all that shit that Hollywood not only doesn't care about, but have gone out of their way, and admittedly gone out of their way to avoid you hiring people that are fans of comics and shit. So ass backwards, my guy. This is how you do it. And I think, you know, well, it'll be proven. That's one thing that I think that the Superman is going to do. It's going to prove the way it is. And James Gunn's, it's also going to help overhaul comics too in one big way, which we know it's based on the All-Star Superman. But yeah, it's the Kryptonite Age is going to, I mean, it's gonna revolutionize, not revolutionize, it's just gonna change the way people read Superman comics. And so it's gonna do a lot. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Very ecstatic.
But yeah, man, I'm just putting it together. But yeah, that's our show. I know Stu got to go fight crime, so we're gonna cut it off a little bit tonight, a little early. But we're gonna be back as always on Saturday. We do this every Wednesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. So don't miss it. We'll see you then.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
With those words of wisdom, we leave you.
Water, my friend.
Peace.
Be water, my friend.